breakthrough that will no doubt make motorists happy. And as Ralph Robinson explains, the Pentagon is also showing lots of interest in this project.
Water has always been considered a precious commodity, but Stan Meyer's invention may make it even more valuable. He has developed what's called a water fuel cell. It has taken the place of his old gas tank. The water fuel cell breaks down water molecules into oxygen and hydrogen. The hydrogen is used to run his dune buggy.
I don't care if you use rainwater, well water, city water, ocean water. If you don't have any fresh water, go ahead and use snow. If you don't have any snow available to you, they use salt water because there's no adverse effect to the fuel cell.
Meyer started working on this project 4 years ago. He's not a scientist. He isn't even a chemist. In fact, he never graduated from college. Myers was determined, he says, to design something to protect this country from oil embargoes.
And we have calculated that if we take the dune buggy from Los Angeles to New York, we would roughly use 22 gallons of water.
The Pentagon flew a lieutenant colonel in last week to look at Meyer's invention. There's talk of possibly using it in the Star Wars defense program and to run Army tanks. Myers is currently perfecting a water fuel cell for cars. It will cost about $1,500. He says it won't need any maintenance, and you won't have to replace it.
Today, we all live in a new age. The early 21st century already has presented the United States with many daunting challenges, not the least of which is the destruction of our environment. It is a time of change, and one such change must be the official position toward unidentified flying objects, or UFOs. The controversy over the existence of UFOs is over. UFOs are a reality. The internet today is flooded with thousands of images and accounts of this reality. Other nations are becoming more open about their knowledge of UFOs. National polls indicate a majority of Americans are now ready to entertain the idea that humankind is not alone in the universe, and that non-humans may have been visiting the Earth for many years, if not centuries. The sad truth is that this issue has been so wrapped in secrecy that even recent presidents have not been fully informed of this reality.
The United States Air Force, in discharging its responsibility for the aerospace defense of the nation, is called upon to investigate reports of unidentified flying objects.
National authorities knew that the UFOs in our skies represented a new reality.
I was involved in situations where we actually did recoveries of crashed saucers, for lack of a better term, debris thereof. There were bodies that were involved with some of these crashes.
The Air Force has been accused from time to time of hiding information about UFO. What do you have to say to that, Colonel Taffy?
Well, these charges are absolutely untrue.
While we were doing all this, we were telling the American public there was nothing to it. We were telling the world there was nothing to it.
Major Quintanilla, what are the objectives of Project Blue Book?
The objectives of the program are twofold. They're the same as they have been since 1953 when the regulation was written. First of all, to try to determine if the UFO phenomena presents a threat to the security of the United States.
And I can clearly recall seeing a message that went through my crypto center which said that a UFO had crashed on the island of Spitsbergen, Norway, and the team of scientists were coming to investigate it.
And second, to determine if the UFO phenomena exhibits any technological advances which could be channeled into research and development.
At the highest levels, it was decided to wrap the entire issue of UFO and extraterrestrial life in a blanket of secrecy. Any alternative science was stigmatized and banned from public discourse. The very notion of extraterrestrials and alternative technology was relegated to science fiction and comic books. The RAM Project has allocated technologies that will change the future for mankind. This technology involves a high-voltage vortex electrodynamic energy system manipulating ground state energy for power and propulsion. For propulsion purposes, this energy can produce movement by the action and reaction of energy fields at the atomic and subatomic level, rather than by pollution causing combustion. Such energy and propulsion technology has been tightly controlled by a handful of men with no constitutional authority from within the National Security Council since passage of the National Security Act of 1947. These men were composed of persons with high-level military and corporate connections. Over time, and for security and deniability purposes, even the president was excluded from the knowledge held by this group. The time for secrecy is past. Considering the increasing social, political, financial, and environmental problems throughout the world, it is time for a true change of direction, a new openness and a willingness to advance new ideas and new options. There is no more time for the issue of extraterrestrial life and the technology it can bring to be controlled by a handful of men fearful of losing their monopolies. It is time for these alternative technologies to be properly and responsibly disclosed to the public. It is time to stop tinkering around the edges of oil, coal, solar, and wind power, and apply the physics-based energy and propulsion technologies gleaned from extraterrestrial contact to the problems of environmental decay, a growing and increasingly impoverished population, global financial instability, and war. It's time for a break from the policies of the past. It is time for a change, true change, a change for the betterment of all humanity. Because in the final analysis, we are all one.